Let's get them going. This is nice and easy.
Not the cars and stuff like that, okay? Okay.
Sideways right now.
So what am I looking for? What am I looking for? Orbs? What am I supposed to be looking for?
Is it recording?
Yeah.
Then you just slowly pan it around.
Okay.
Charles and Eliza, how many kids did you have? Can you tell me how many kids you have? Don't point it up.
Okay, just like,
No, just like that, and do it really slow around. Charles and Eliza, what were your kids' names? Tell me how many kids you had.
So by wall, building over here, actually the wall around the block. The wall around the block. So again, it's made out of cement, so it's going to hang on to the feet a little bit different. Our parking lot, I'm sure you notice, is a bunch of different colors. The reason for that is it's gravel, it's mud, it's cement. You know, it's got all kinds of different materials, different properties. Exactly. So that's why I don't always pay attention to the ground here. Okay, like the can on here, that'll give us a false knowledge from time to time. So it might be like a smashed can on the ground.
so like, what am I supposed to be looking for?
So again, this isn't always a real-time moment, like I said. So when you see something, it's gonna actually. Let me show you. So why don't you let's get out of the alley over here.
Like-
That's the only way cars come in and out.
I actually saw what looked like three flashing orbs, and then they just stopped flashing.
Let me bring up some videos so you can see what I find.
And also, do you think I could use something else?
So
And
once you
what
get
does this-
comfortable with this guy, like that's a battery keeping everything charged.
Oh, what does the number mean right there?
That's how much charge is left on the
Oh,
battery.
70?
Yeah, I didn't fully charge it before I left because I had to charge something else.
So that's
So-
71 earlier.
Go into this guy. Not all. I want the.
So once I get comfortable with this, I get
Oh.
2 or
I'll give you my
switch?
EMF meter. Yeah, you'll hang on to both of them for me.
Oh, I actually don't really want to use this one. It kind of seems a little boring.
Well, let's
but
give it a little bit of footage while we're here.
okay.
As soon as I find that photo or that video, I'll show you exactly. I need to find the right folder.
So
Sorry.
just like try to just point it around and
Nice slow movements. Like you're moving way too fast. So
like
the
this
slower
slow?
you move, the better.
so like this.
Yep, got it. This is not going to bring up the video. There it is. Alright, so this one. So watch this. So what you're looking for, like that's me, and you're going to see a big giant orb come up and then go this way.
Ooh.
That's what we're looking for. We
Oh.
also had high EMF at the same time that actually occurred.
Oh.
So again, it's definitely something intelligent because it changed direction.
Right, because it kind of noticed that we were like recording or something, or
Not necessarily. It's just seeing people standing there.
Yeah.
All right. What are we hearing out of yours? What do we got?
When I asked how many children there were, I heard one a couple of times, and then I thought I heard a 5.
Yep.
Yeah. And I wasn't getting anything with the names.
Not unless they're doing math. You heard 1, 5, no names at all. So if you heard anything else, it's not always going to be a direct answer. It's always the silliest thing that you never think of that might actually be, something relevant to the space. So even though you're asking a question, don't search for that answer. Just tell me whatever you're hearing. You might be asking questions, but remember, Bayley should be getting the answers.
Right.
So again, if you heard I don't know, buy a Mazda today, I want to know that you heard buy a Mazda today. No matter if you're asking a question about Mazdas or not.
Okay.
Does that make sense now? So again, it's every little thing that you're hearing. Because again, they're going to reach and grab you. We're not scared. So I have a 5, 8, 5, 9. Alright, so Liam, you can handle this guy too?
Oh.
So anything above a 5, 8 on there is what I want to know. So you're going to get both of those.
Oh, it's 0, 0.
So anything above 5, 8. And then we're going to keep escalating it up. Anything coming out of yours, William?
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet? Bailey, how you doing on yours? So just like I explained to her, it's whatever you hear. If you hear a song,
This is kind of tough.
Whenever we are over
1 point. It was just 11.2. It was just 11.2 over there.
That's the
Right here. 3.3. Oh.
Alright, Liam, don't point the camera at that.
It's so hard doing this. I don't think I can handle both.
Who were you talking to over there?
I was just listening.
I heard you talking.
She's probably singing Harry Styles. What she was doing.
Probably doing.
Let me go ask her.
8.2, 8.
She probably started jamming out.
It was 8.2 and 7.6 over here. When
I don't have a sound record. I'm not supposed to be asking questions, right?
Or am I? You can.
But she would get the answer. I'm not.
You might get the answer on the audio.
Is there an audio?
Oh, there's audio on all. Oh my gosh, that's kind of fun. I don't listen to the audio. Okay. I stopped listening to the audio. Yeah, I don't listen to those. I put them on mute while I watch them, so that way I can focus. Anything else coming up on the word list?
Better to be by yourself.
7.9, 5.2. Over here, right here.
Bayley looks excited.
What do you
What,
have? What
babe?
was it, Liam?
It was 7.5 and 5.2, but then it just left.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like are you comfortable with that? And ready
With what?
to that?
Here's the weird thing.
With
Well,
this?
Even
Yes.
though you're asking questions,
I'm going to ask him if I can just
when you guys hear
um,
weird things like Atlanta on a Charleston radio station, I still write it down. Here's why, and I don't think I got a chance to explain this to you last night because it didn't happen. So normally somebody's going to come up with a name. We already had the name Rosalind show up on there, but normally it's almost like a predictive something. So if we get a weird city, weird country, anything that's not Charleston, I write it down because we have the name Rosalind. I might
Look
have
at
a
this.
Rosalind on my next tour. That's from Atlanta. I've seen it happen
For-
at least a
it was-
dozen times a year, as many times as I've been doing this out here for the past 4 years.
I
It
just
happens
had a
all the time.
56.7.
Nice.
Was innocent.
Do you think I could just use this for a little while until I'm comfortable with this and then I use both?
So I think once we get to the alley, you're going to want to hang on to both of those because everybody's going to want footage from that camera when we're in the alley. So if you
And
can
not
hang on to it
just
for a
the
little while longer.
Okay,
I know it's hard to use both, but
yeah, very. I'm not really even paying attention to this right
that's
now.
okay. Because again, you don't need to in real time. That's why you get the video back later. Give you guys another minute with these spare
7.9, 7.9, 1.
You got a 56. That's exciting.
Huh?
How high did we get? What number?
It was just
Starting part.
There's just
So,
7.9.
anything, like we normally get a spike of an
Honey,
8.
honey, stop
For-
pointing this down.
56 is a great bank here. And I'll explain those readings before we leave this place.
11.6, 3.6.
25 is your new base. Don't give me anything below 25.
Okay.
I think we got up to like a 34 or 36 for last time. Is that the number we got?
Now there was a 40 earlier.
Okay, I'll take a 40. Good one. Adrian,
Nothing
and
under
then-
that.
Alright. It's a little too vague. Unless you were asking how she was doing.
No,
Okay.
no, I was asking about the tipsy.
If you are
Okay.
here,
Anything coming out of yours, Bayley?
come close
Alright.
to this
I'm gonna wrap this
device.
one up. Come on in, Liam.
Liam,
It's the Atlanta thing. I got it written down.
Huh? Oh, if you are here, come close to this device that I am holding.
Okay, give me the ring.
Oh,
all right, go ahead and turn it off.
the recording?
Yeah.
Okay,
Got it?
hold on.
Let's get you up and running. So, you don't always need to point your cameras at me at this point. Again, we want footage of the alley. So, where the heck are we? We're in Philadelphia Alley. This used to be called Duelers Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. So I say some because dueling wasn't legal at the time, and they kind of had to find a good hiding spot in order to be able to perform the act. So every ghost story tells the same story. Hey, Remy. So,
Squirrel?
No,
I think it was a
he's
rat.
a rat. Remy the rat. So,
I've never seen a rat
he's
before,
harmless.
except in
He's
a
out here every
like
night.
zoo or something,
But anyway,
or dead.
Isn't that funny how animals have the little spots and they're just there every night?
yeah. I mean, he's chilling.
Yeah, no, this is his
This
home.
is it. Yep.
It's
And I'm
okay.
invading
He's
you.
allowed to have a home.
So, again, every ghost story tells the same story. We're going to get different details out of Nick because I researched this like hell to make sure we knew what the hell we were talking about. So, here's how it goes. There's a doctor that moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. For those of you with spirit boxes, if you hear the song Brown Eyed Girl, it is not coincidence. It's part of his name. You guys are getting my point, right? Anyway, he moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She's an attorney, helping her out with all of this cash that she just got. And the attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money. So he tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor. So he comes to Charleston to prove that he's not after her money. The coachman that brought him into town, though, set him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a good start to his stay here in Charleston. So, somebody was walking by and knew what was about to happen because he knew the coachman. His name was Ralph Isaacs. I'm going to stop there for a second because Ralph actually has the same initials as where the doctor came from. R.I. Rhode Island, Ralph Isaacs. We were getting the letters R.I. on spirit boxes, so now I actually have it's like a digital Ouija board. So it actually uses EMF, like Liam's device, to actually stop a cursor on letters just to see if I would actually get those letters in this location. So I don't always bring it out because it's not always the most productive piece, but we have gotten it in the past 6 months that I've had the device. We have gotten R.I. down here, but again, 2 different characters. Need a secondary clue so I know who it belongs to. Anyway, back to Ralph. He tells the doctor, dude, you don't want to stay here. Just don't go with this guy. He's going to try to kill you. Why don't you come with me to 59 Church Street, 59 being a prominent number. You can stay there, rent a room, you'll be safe and good to go. Dr. Ladd took him up on the offer. They became friends. So, the longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. He's proving his point. He's not after Amanda's money. So Amanda gets wind of this. She's going to move down so they can get married. Dr. Ladd became known as the Whistling Doctor because he whistled all the time. It's the late 1780s. So, and by the way, every haunted city you're ever going to visit in the future is going to have a cliched whistling ghost. We all have one. I'm just pointing it out there. So there's actually proof for this one. We're going to get to that too. Anyway, Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. So he gets better seats. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. Now, with that, they go see Richard III one night. There's a new actress in town. They're talking about this actress on the way home. They're arguing. Dr. Ladd thought she was great. Ralph didn't. It turns into, we have something going on?
No.
Oh, everyone just kind of like all of a sudden looked down
I
the
thought
alley.
your face was saying there's something going on, so I was peeking.
No. I always look just to see, to make sure we're not going to be interrupting on the tours. But anyway, the argument that they had got really ugly when Ralph started insulting the doctor's fiance back home in Rhode Island. They went their separate ways. Ralph goes to the newspaper, puts an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of you're a disgrace to society. 5 to 9 is what we're looking for in here and higher. Liam, just so you know. Liam, over 7 to 9. roughly, because of the lamppost, they're going to give you more, just so you know. Anyway, back to Doctor. He saw that ad that, he's a disgrace to society, and challenged Ralph to a duel right where we're standing. Let's settle this, and somebody's going to die. So they came down, they took their 10 paces, they turned, the doctor pointed his gun in the air, and he shot. He did not want to kill his friend. He just wanted to have the courage and bravery to show up to the fight, which is often what happens at a duel. But Ralph has his one bullet in his flintlock, and he actually puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Dr. Ladd doesn't die, but he drops to the ground. His friends pick him up, carry him home to 59 Church Street, where he dies 10 days later after refusing medical treatment. You have to remember, he's a doctor. This is the 1780s, and bullet wounds were a lot different back then than they are now. He probably tried to bleed out the lead poisoning himself. So every ghost tour that comes down here tells everybody to listen for the whistles. However, we've got 3 different video cameras running right now, plus my voice recorder. If it's going to be there, it'll be there, and just keep in mind, if you're going to do this on your own with your own voice recorders from your phones and walk all the way through the alley, keep in mind every local knows the story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland or Queen Street throws a whistle down the alley. I do it every single night. So, it's just something that I do. Exactly. So, because we pass my garage on the way here, because I park right above the Scotchman, so I have to pass the alley every single night. So I always throw a whistle down here, especially since I got kicked out of here. That's the fun part of the story. Let's get into that. So, this alley didn't go all the way through at one point, this way. It was cut off between us and Cumberland Street about halfway. The reason why is because this is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. It was called Cow Alley back then. We do get the word cow quite a bit on your word list while we're here. But anyway, so that means the bricks on the other side, way down at the end, are sun-dried bricks from slave children. They're older than the bricks we're standing on. So, with that, there's a handprint in one of those bricks from a slave child. Some fingerprint swipes on the left. I used to always go through and show my guests, like, the handprint, because we all need to see it. I don't care about the diversity of my group. We all need to see that damn handprint. However, I treat that brick the same way I do a grave. That kid is not staring at that brick in the afterlife. He's not there. November 26th of 2020. My entire team is huddled around one brick waiting for something to happen. I'm trying to shoo them along because I'm just trying to be respectful because I know he's not there, but it's also outside the kitchen window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I was just trying to be respectful to the house, not knowing I was out of bounds. I wasn't allowed to go down that far. So the new owner of the mansion came out screaming. My daughter thought it was great because Dad's getting yelled at, and we moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on Thanksgiving because I worked in retail management, mainly for Walmart, for a good 20 plus years of my life. So you can understand why I don't work Thanksgiving. Bayley's like, I hear you.
I was at Target. I get it.
I think Walmart is 30 times worse. I put that a specific number on there. But at any rate, the next day was November 28th of 2020. So I called my partner that I had at the time. I told him what happened. He said, dude, you can only go down halfway. Like, you gotta either go down halfway or reroute the group. So I decided I'm going to reroute the group, but I'm not a pirate person. I'm a vampire guy. I don't even believe in the next story that I was about to tell these people, and I told them that. Before we left, somebody heard the name Anne on a spirit box. I didn't tell them who we were going to be investigating. The famous female pirate Anne Bonny. So I went, well, damn, maybe we will get something. Get down there, told a little bit I did know about piracy. Somebody else, here's the number 300. I don't know what that means. I write it down. The next day I'm researching. We were there on November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy, November 28th of 1720.
Oh,
we were there on the
this.
exact 300-year anniversary of her pirate trial. That's the tree branches.
Oh, okay. It looks like a dancing ghost.
But
like
that is a giant ghost if there is one there.
Yeah.
So,
Don't point it up, honey.
and try not to leave the equipment on the ground when there's rats running around. You might take it.
Liam.
So, before we leave the space, because again, we're just here to kind of stir things up about the doctor, we will get bleed over into the next space. What I mean by bleed over is while we were at the Pinckney Mansion site, we could have gotten things about Big John and vice versa. Let's huddle in and kind of like let these guys pass through. Keep mindful of your cameras, point them down, please.
I do not like rats.
Yeah, none of us like rats.
They're stupid.
So,
They don't bother me. I used to feed them like me.
gentlemen,
Monty.
Mm-hmm.
So cute. I'm guessing.
good thing I told the story. Anyway, but the gate behind me, remember that the alley didn't go all the way through this way. So that means if there was a loser to a duel, this was a shortcut to get over to St. Philip Cemetery. The gate wasn't there because I'm going to guess that the wrought iron work is early 1900s, so the archway was there. So I know you guys see the courtyard on the other side, but St. Philip Cemetery is right there, literally. So it probably wasn't all the way fenced in. and they could drop the dead body off, so that way they could go celebrate the winning. I call this the death gate. That's the reason why I stopped right here. So again, the next space we're going to be talking about pirates, obviously, and then we're going to be able to spread out, but we will stay out of the way of the other tours, because again, another popular corner. You guys are getting the gist of it. That dude's cool. He just kind of hangs out here. He'll ask us if we're finding any ghosts. Anybody else feel raindrops just now?
Yeah.
Dag nabbit, we got to one more space.
Sorry.
No, kidding. We're going to keep going.
It's light.
Yeah. In the event that it gets too heavy, I'll get us to shelter pretty quickly. You know, we're obviously well in our way, so again, we will continue going depending on how heavy it gets. So let's go learn about crazy pirates, unless anybody has any questions about dueling. I can't tell you all the rules of dueling because it's like 50 pages long, and it's all in old English. So again, reading it was pretty ridiculous. All right, let's go do pirates. We ready for pirates, Liam? By the way, the two of you should never point your cameras towards each other. Your camera can see his blinking LiDAR technology, so it's really hard to watch for the guy with seizures when it's blinking, flashing lights on the screen.
Okay.
So again, just always point them away from each other if you can. Not to mention, it's got to be hard for you guys to watch too. So again, can't catch anything that way. So we're going to be discussing, first off, that little tiny building over there with the crosses on it. Those are not crosses, by the way. Those are earthquake bolts. If you're not familiar with earthquake bolts, they're basically turnbuckles. In the event that we actually have another earthquake, like what we did in 1886, we can turn those turnbuckles, and it's supposed to tighten the building back up, so that way it doesn't occur any further damage. That's part of the reason why we're here, is those earthquake bolts. Those are the first set of earthquake bolts that Charleston ever put in. Which, by the way, that whole technology with turnbuckles tightening up a building, that doesn't work. So again, they're there because that's the first set that Charleston ever put in, because that's the oldest government building in South Carolina. That's why we're here. This is what I call a familiar. You guys all watch the TV shows where they use a teddy bear to attract a child ghost? It's the same type of principle. This is just something that Anne Bonnie would actually recognize. The hope here is that she's going to be here at the same time we are. You haven't said much about your word list, by the way. What do we got going on? Yes, what was the last couple of terms? So I get that little white box.
Ready, fair, restore, spirit, gentleman, forward, I am sorry, forward again, swing, among us,
That forward showed up twice, you said?
Yeah.
So forward and wings are really the only two. The only reason I say forward is because we probably got those at the time that we stopped, so that we were shooting the direction. And it's almost like they were giving a direction, like keep moving forward. Hey, just telling you, when I hear something twice, I gotta pay attention.
Sure.
Liam, honey.
That's fine.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Alright.
Alright, let's circle back up. So are you hearing anything, by the way? Nothing at all? Adrian, what about you? You got anything coming out of yours before I truly get into this story? Alright, so here's how the history goes. The building was finished in 1713. The story begins right in the middle of its construction. The building took 10 years to build. Does that sound like our government? Small building, 10 years? No, not at all. I'll answer for you. It's perfectly efficient for our government. So 1708 is where it all begins. A young lady named Anne Cormack moves here from Ireland. Her name is, well, obviously Anne Cormack, I said that already, but she comes here with her father and his mistress. The mistress is Anne's mother. Is everybody with me so far? Okay, the three of them are running away from her father's angry wife. So how pissed was she that they had to leave the country to come here? So, especially since we didn't have any airplanes. They left by boat. So, they land in Georgetown. That's just north of here, between us and Myrtle Beach. Dad bought a plantation. Mom died pretty quickly. That means he's sending young Anne down here to sell things from the plantation to help keep things afloat. Hence the familiar building. That's why we're here. So, Anne back home in Ireland was said to be a badass even back then. They say at the age of 7, 8, 9 years old, remember that this is pirate lore, nothing is going to be perfectly exact, and it's part of the reason why I didn't want to do pirates, because none of it is exact. But they say she killed a servant when she was that young with a knife to the belly. I will tell you that we did have a phrase that came out of the spirit box just here the other night that said, tears to the stomach, before I even said the statement. So it was really kind of like, all right, we'll take it. But we have had the terms knife and belly and servant also in the same meaning. But back to, let's fast forward. Building's done in 1713. By 1715, pirates are coming through town. Anne's stoked. Why? She's going to fall in love, so she can earn her freedom, just like a man. So, first guy she falls in love with. I said first because there's a handful. We're going to go through them all. First guy is James Bonney. You already see where this one's going because we've already mentioned her pirate name. Dad didn't approve because he's a filthy pirate. They ran away to Jamaica. They got married. So the format is now James Bonney. So the name came from. So James Bonney is not Captain Jack Sparrow like what she was hoping for. This guy turns out to be a privateer. He's a spy for the British. Means he's a coward in Anne's eyes. So she falls in love again. Guy number 2. This is John Rackham, aka Calico Jack. This is the guy that they based your Johnny Depp character off of for your Disney movies, just so you know who we're talking about.
Calico Jack?
Exactly. So, Calico Jack. He has his own ship and a crew, and wants to be part of it. You can't put a girl on a pirate crew because it's bad luck. So he makes a deal with her. If you dress like a guy and look like the crew, then you can be part of it. But you're going to be a female in my quarters. She's okay with this because Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy apprentice back home in Ireland to hide her from his wife. So she gets it. Let's do this. But most of us are adults here except for Liam. Put 2 and 2 together. Being a female in his quarters, she's eventually going to get pregnant. You cannot have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Somebody's going to figure out that she's a girl. So he drops her off in Cuba. Go have the baby, come back later. We'll figure it out. She goes and has the baby, but returns with no child. We have no idea what happened to this baby. No amount of my research has ever found what has happened to this baby. Now, the irony of this part of the story is that she comes back then as a female. This makes Jack pretty pissed off, because now everybody's going to know he had a girl on the ship. While she was gone giving birth, he captured another pirate crew. They're down below deck, all handcuffed up. She's going to go flirting, because that's who Anne is. So, guy number 3. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy, to be part of the pirate crew that Calico Jack captured. Now we have 2 females, dressed like males, on the same ship. Her name is Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. So, her and Mary became friends, possibly lovers. We're not going to really know for sure. But the British found out where they are. They send an entire fleet of ships to take down one pirate ship. Anne and Mary, the rumor is, they were the only 2 pirates not drunk enough to come up and fight with their 1-bullet flintlocks, probably because they didn't know how to use cannons yet. They weren't pirates for very long. So,
4.8 spike, and all around here it's been 0.0.
yeah, I'm going to get into that, so give me just a moment. Let me finish up, because we're almost there. I know, this is a long one, but there's a lot of research that went into it. So, anyway, obviously they get captured, and they're being arrested. And as they're being arrested, she looks at her beau and captain, Calico Jack, and she says, Jack, I'm sorry to see you here, but if you would have fought like a man, you wouldn't be hanged like a dog. The word dog shows up a lot on her spirit boxes, just so you guys know. So the judge wants to see the 2 men that fought back so valiantly on their own. Calico Jack and the drunk pirates are dead and gone. They've already been hung. So Anne and Mary go in front and reveal their gender, trying to save themselves. He doesn't give a shit that they're female. They're still pirates. He's still going to hang them. We plead our bellies, was the last thing they shouted, because you can't hang a pregnant woman in 1720. This is the exact trial I was just talking about back at Duller's Alley, by the way. So, he delays the hanging, sends them both back to jail, but Dad is still up here in South Carolina with all of his Irish money. He was an attorney back home. He bails her out, brings her home. She remarries. It's husband number 2, but guy number 4. We're going to count Mary. We don't really know. She has 4 kids, dies at the age of 84. Yes, very abrupt, because we don't know much about her after her pirate career. The other piece is that Mary Reed dies a few months later, in the month of April, which I think we're actually getting closer to the date of her actual death, in that Jamaican jail from whatever pirates die from in a Jamaican jail. Use your imagination. Most books will tell you that it was fever. I'm going to say BS and say it was probably scurvious, and let's make it romantic for ourselves, right? We're talking pirates. So, 2 things I left out of here for all you spirit box and communication device people. I left out the name of Anne Bonney's parents, and I also left out the name of Calico Jack's ship. Everything else is up to you. You can ask things about like what city she lived in back in Ireland, what color her hair was, who did she love the most, any questions you want to ask. This is one where we can poke the bear a little bit. So again, if she's here, she will answer these questions. So
Liam,
EMF detection. So Liam, pay attention because this space is weird. We have 2 electrical poles in the corners. Don't get excited when you get numbers on the front half of this lot. Okay, on the back half back here, we may get something if she's actually here. Now, again, the powder magazine is what's familiar to her, but I like coming to the side of it, so that way my teams of 10 can actually spread out a little bit. So again, just like what we did at the Pinky Mansion site, I'll be bouncing around with all of you, but Liam's got my device, so I'm definitely going to be bouncing around with all of you guys a little bit more. So, definitely get those cameras running. Let's get some footage in here, poke that bear, and let's get some answers. All right, babe.
I got hallelujah.
We're near the church. We
Yeah.
get a lot of religious stuff.
Okay, yeah.
I'm still going to write it down, just to prove the point. We do get a lot of them. Notice you didn't hear anything else until here. That's my point.
So like this half, like where
So
this
basically,
one, so like the half where this light bulb is.
no.
Like,
Listen to me. So you see the tree up there? The back half. This is where we might get. So from that tree back. Anything forward of that tree is probably going to be from
And
the next.
if you're here, can you tell me the name of your husband's ship?
back here.
let me know and I'll turn it.
Anne, if you're here, can you tell me what happened to your child? Can you tell me the name of the ship? Or the boat?
There's more of an EMF around you. Yeah.
Well, I'm holding electronics.
Coming out of there yet?
Silliest things.
You know, I did, and then Liam talked to me, and then I forgot what it was. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Kids.
Remember, we may get bleed over from the Dueler's Alley too.
Okay.
So remember, any silly thing you're hearing, again, this is where the name William shows up. So obviously that's the name of the father, right? It was William Cormack. We get it all the time, but it normally shows up with the mother's name as well. So it's William and we'll get the mother's name, and it's usually in one phrase. We get it here all the time.
Okay.
And again, it comes from a radio station, but that's okay. So again, when it's going super fast, like what they show you on TV, most of what they're hearing is from radio stations, unless they're using a Faraday box.
Okay.
So Faraday box takes out the radio stations to make sure what you're getting is actually legitimately disembodied.
Okay.
So again, that's a whole other style that I don't incorporate into this. I carry one with me just in case I have advanced hunters with me that have done this before, or a team. Like I bring a Faraday box because sometimes they've never seen one.
Right.
But at the same time, it's the silliest things. Just keep it going.
Bayley, you got anything?
Good enough. Is it hot enough to
Ask anyone wanting to talk to me in the video.
Yes, no question. So, what else has been heard? All the silly things we've heard.
A lot of voice same as it was.
Higher. The most common is
Anne, can you tell me your parents' names? I got doctor. Anne, tell me the names of your parents.
You're a doctor. Doctor, why were you not smart enough to get yourself checked out?
Anyone. If anyone is here, come over to me, please. And if I find you somewhere that's not by me, you'll be punched in the head. Or at least what I think is the head. Nah, I'm not that mean. So, but if you're near me, if you're here, and you can hear me,
I heard doctor.
See, now we have a couple of doctors showing up.
You seeing anything?
Yeah, ask him why he wasn't smart enough to get himself checked out. Doctor.
I asked when they die, and they said tomorrow. So I don't know if that
Again, remember, it's not
Oh,
always,
hey, don't say stuff like that.
but it might be the date.
Yeah.
It might be the date that's relevant to when they actually died.
And that's when
Well, Anne and Mary, ironically, both died in the month of April, just different years. So again, I'll look at the dates, I don't know them off the top of my head, and see if it's actually that. Could be. But always remember, it's not always going to be an answer. So you always have to tell me the question. She probably didn't ask about Dr. Ryan, but she keeps getting walking. You see where I'm going? Like, it's all the
Bill.
silly shit.
Up to 0.6, and that's the highest it's gotten
Who is
over
Bill?
here.
I know.
he's going to tell us tomorrow.
No, I'm gonna tell you before we leave the space.
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna leave you guys hanging
That's
all night
even
long.
better.
Yeah, just like what we
Hey,
did at the
ask
big
Dr.
convention.
Bill if this rash is bad.
Well, Bill is not the doctor.
Oh.
Do we have any recording going on? Did you figure that out two-handed?
1.1,
Yep, you're good.
Okay, yeah.
which is the highest.
I'm really surprised that he wanted to go after that versus the camera.
Probably too heavy.
Fair enough. William, how's this coming, buddy? They don't pick up our shadows.
There was
Isn't that
just
weird?
2.5 here.
It's because there's an absence of light.
There's
So,
just 2.5 here, and that's the highest it's got.
but the shadow thing blew me away too when I figured
High
that
interest
out.
credit
I'm like, there's an
cards.
absence of light. Credit cards? Yeah, I'm not writing that one down. Same thing with like website,
Right.
.coms. Like I don't write all that stuff down when we're talking about 1700s ghosts.
If you
Bailey, everything you're hearing, what do you
if
got?
are
Leave
here,
town.
Please come towards this box.
Not getting a lot.
Oh, he says anything.
Oh.
Anything.
Okay, I'll tell you next thing.
You came a little bit towards around this. Well, can you
The
come
business?
as close
Okay.
as you can to the box? As you're here. I'm actually trying to find.
Doesn't make sense to me yet, but we'll see. We'll see what something else comes up.
Oh,
What's the last word you got?
You're not doing it?
Identification.
You want me to get mean?
It's just, it's changing so
Oh.
fast.
It's on its slowest speed too, by the way.
Really?
Now I do a boot camp with every location. We actually speed it up until it's nothing but white noise.
Anne, can you tell me the name of your parents?
Like that's a whole different book. Nothing but fear. So I call it fear box boot camp.
Specifically your mom.
Fear box, and that's all we do.
It feels like something just kicked my knee in.
Kicked it? Like, did you fall?
No, but my head went like that.
Something
My
may have
knee
nudged you a little bit.
Right.
Kick is a pretty harsh word. A kick would probably fall down.
Like,
Something nudged
like,
you.
so like,
Run?
kind of like that. It kind of felt like a boot.
Like a pirate boot kicking you?
Maybe.
How come this device picks up the numbers when it's just supposed to be a heat signature?
Because the lights are a different heat signature. Lights which should be warmer than the screen
It's
around
an
it.
outline of just the numbers. It's a duplication.
I'm really not feeling it. It's just changing so fast.
Okay. Anything out of yours? Okay, I say we call it. Let's go over to the wall. Get some answers.
Are we
William's
almost
getting
done?
some shadows.
Are we almost done?
Hold on. It's ready.
I'm not turning the volume up. Well,
Okay.
I guess I can.
You can now.
So do I have to use the recorder at all?
No, you can set that down for now.
Okay.
This chair.
You got them upside down. There you go.
I'll help. Or maybe not. Oh, good job.
Okay.
Espionage.
Espionage. It's 11:02, just so everybody knows what time it is. I'll be keeping track of time. I usually give them a few seconds to get acclimated because it can be disorienting. I'm looking for Henry Timrod. Henry Timrod can come to the box with the red light. We can hear you. The young lady sitting on the bench named Adrian.
Right there.
All the words that you're going to give us.
All the words that she
So let's,
hears.
let me do my thing here. So, Henry Timrod, why don't you tell us what you did for a living, please? What was your occupation? Henry Timrod, what was your occupation?
The sun is killing.
Let's huddle in a little bit closer.
Okay.
Henry Timrod, please tell us what you did for your occupation. What did you do for a
The
living?
U.S. and prison.
Henry Timrod. One more time. What did you do for a living? What did you love to do? I want you to also keep in mind that this is also a place where I may ask yes or no questions, because she doesn't know what we're actually asking.
Brian Snicker.
That's a full name. Henry, can you tell us anything about your son? What do you want to tell us about your son? We're actually kind of curious to know how he died. I know it was a tragic thing at the end of your life, but if you can tell us anything about your son, that would be great.
I saw a couple flashes of light in the background back there.
Okay. Henry?
Now, isn't it?
Henry, tell us about your son, please.
Another flash.
Your attitude?
My attitude is fine, being very, very respectful tonight, Henry. I know I didn't read any of your poetry tonight.
You're probably talking about me. The kid.
Henry, we're asking a lot of questions about your son, about what you did for a living. Same questions I've been asking you for the past few weeks.
Oh,
We're being very respectful tonight. This is a very
another
good
flash.
group.
Another flash back there.
Figure it out?
You want me to figure it out?
Why
Or
won't you
for
tell
you to
us?
tell us, Henry.
Ah,
Give us something specific about your son. About 4 minutes under, just so you know.
Running over?
No.
no?
Let's go to something simpler. Why don't you tell us where your son is buried?
Another flash.
Where's your son buried?
Do you know?
I do know.
I'm talking to the ghost.
You better know. It's right next to him.
Oh. You just gave him the answer.
I'm waiting to...
The fault?
The what?
Discovery?
Discovery
Forget some
Plus.
terms. Come on, Henry. Give us some specifics about your son. Where is he buried?
Ministry of?
Of what?
You are? Start with?
We want to go back to the beginning? With your occupation?
Flash. Oh, a bunch of flashes.
Okay, Leah. Henry?
Charleston?
She's listening to Charleston radio stations and they're not very
Highway
good.
52, Monk's Corner.
52. No.
5 times?
What? This is so confusing.
Now she's hearing a lot more. It's unsuccessful so far, just so everybody knows. Like, I'm not impressed.
Your fools?
Henry. What's your
My
wife's?
life?
Oh. I'm going to continue asking the same questions till you give us some answers. What was your occupation? Any words coming up over there, Gene?
Stability.
You got? Oh, you're not even listening.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was
It's
paying
okay.
attention to this.
To be rescued?
Does anyone need rescuing?
On a strike?
Does anyone need rescuing? Or
Henry? Anything you want to tell us specific about your life? So far this has been unsuccessful, so I may cut it a
Raw.
little short.
raw?
So we're going to give you another minute to give us something specific about your life.
Christians?
It's not specific enough.
Seriously? I think that's pretty true.
sounds like you're all ready.
For what? Ready for what?
Henry. Wife's name, your son's name, anything about them specifically would do. But I'm more interested in what you want to tell me what your occupation was. Anything crazy?
Understand?
Yeah, this is all too vague for me.
Girls?
7 minutes. Liam, go ahead and tap her out, buddy. Tap her leg.